Peter Foley, a member of the class of 1963, and also a 2010 Sports Hall of Fame inductee. Peter will be introducing Richard L. Whitmore, class of 1933, for induction, and the award will be accepted by his son, Dick. Peter.
Thank you very much, Brian, and congratulations to all of the honorees today. I had the great pleasure of watching that 61 baseball team play. I remember Richie Ashley as a young man, watching him play when I was at St. Dominic's, and Brother Brennan, our paths have crossed many times when you brought your teams over to Weston High School, and he always did quite a number on us. So congratulations. I am thrilled and very honored to have been asked by the Whitmore family to present Richard Dicker Whitmore, class of 33, for induction into the Cheverus High School Hall of Fame. He and my dad, Cupie Foley, another Cheverus alum, were best friends growing up and remained very close throughout their lives. And in 1930, he played on the state championship basketball team with my uncle, William Hooker Foley. And yes, everyone in that era had a nickname. Dicker played football, basketball, and baseball while at Cheverus, earning a total of 10 varsity letters. As mentioned, he was a member of the 1930 state championship basketball team and was all-league in football in both 1931 and 32. After graduation, he prepped for a year at Coburn Classical Institute, where he made All-State in football. In the fall of 1934, he was awarded a scholarship to Fordham University and headed off to New York City. And that is the equivalent today of perhaps receiving a football scholarship to Ohio State or Penn State, because at that time, Fordham University was one of the top football programs in the country. The nation was still in the depths of depression at this time, and as mentioned, Fordham was one of the premier collegiate programs in the country, playing all of their home games at the famed Polo Grounds, drawing upwards of 50,000 fans to all of their games. During this period, college football ranked second only in popularity to Major League Baseball, and consistently outdrew their professional counterparts in what was eventually to become the NFL. Dicker played 4 years of football at Fordham, and his head coach was Jim Sleepy Crowley, one of the famed four horsemen from Notre Dame. This was the era of the 7 blocks of granite, and his teammates included Vince Lombardi and Wellington Mara, whose family had been the longtime owners of the New York Giants. The 1936 team just missed going to the Rose Bowl when they were upset in the final game of the season by crosstown rival NYU at Yankee Stadium. And in 1937, he played on the undefeated team that went 7-0, and for 3 straight years, they played consecutive 0-0 ties with University of Pittsburgh, which was one of the true powerhouses of that era. Coach Whitmore returned to Cheverus in 1939, and for the next 7 years was the head coach of football, basketball, and baseball. His 1940 basketball team won the state championship, and in 1944, the Stags were the only team to defeat eventual New England champions Waterville High School. From 1946 to 49, he coached at Danvers, Mass, before moving on to Weymouth, where his 1953 basketball team won the Massachusetts State Championship and the New England Class B title. While at Weymouth, he also served as an assistant football coach and was part of the then state record 47-game winning streak. In 1958, he moved over to Archbishop Williams High School and served as the line coach for a team that put together another 40-plus game winning streak. I had the pleasure of being with Dicker Whitmore on multiple occasions while growing up, and he had the unique ability to make you feel like you were the most important person in the room. He was always encouraging me to keep my grades up and stick with your swimming, because it's going to take you places. Without him ever knowing it, he was a big influence on my life as a teacher and a coach. A humble man, outstanding athlete, an effective teacher, an extremely successful coach, and most importantly, a great family man, I am very proud to present Richard Dicker Whitmore for induction into the Cheverus High School Hall of Fame. Accepting for his father and on behalf of his family is his son Richard, a longtime athletic director and legendary basketball coach at Colby College.
Thank you, Peter. To be able to be here is of immense honor to our family. On behalf of my sister Maureen and my brother Martin, we are pleased and proud to accept this honor. On behalf of one of the great people in the history of the world. My father was a child of the Depression, but he became a son of Cheverus. That opportunity allowed him to be able to make a pathway toward a life he would have never known. That aspect of what he was able to do, he always paid respect to Cheverus High School. And the many times that we drove to Portland, we always somehow ended up taking a trip around that led us to Free Street and gave us a chance to be able to see what Cheverus was all about. As an individual, my father was the first of his family to go to college. He would never have gotten to college without Cheverus High School. When he went to college, he had a chance to go to New York City. And I would always ask him, I said, Dad, how was New York City? And I'm not sure he ever left his room. Because he would always be talking about different things, about being able to play. Because what he said one day, I was so scared when I went to that first football practice. And from that time on, all he did was think about his studies and his football. That aspect of him probably established a faith that was among the most significant that I've ever seen in an individual. Because what the Jesuits